Good morning, carnivores. Today, we are going to be talking about BBBE. What is it and why should you do it? We love our acronyms, and BBBE is an acronym in the carnivore diet community space. What does it stand for? It stands for beef, bacon, butter, eggs. That's a simple one. BBBE. Beef, bacon, butter, and eggs. It represents all of the food that you need to live, survive, and thrive. It is the simplest diet that you can actually imagine. The components have every mineral and nutrient that your body actually needs, or needs to produce the nutrients that it can produce. It will satisfy you and it will set you on a path to weight loss and better health. How should you use BBBE? Most carnivores eat 1 or 2 meals in a day. And BBBE is, if you want to include all factors, it's probably easiest in the beginning to follow with 2 meals. So we could start our day off with a traditional combo, bacon and eggs. We're having a 12-pack of absolutely gorgeous jumbo eggs. These things are massive. Eggs have a ton of nutrients, including the much sought after B12, which vegans have a really hard time to find in the natural plant world in sufficient amounts. That's why the vegans have to supplement with B12. As carnivores, we definitely get it from eggs, but we can get it from meat as well. The other B, bacon. Bacon is often criticized for its high amounts of nitrates and fat. What people fail to realize is that fat is a major component in a very well balanced diet, because fat gives you a lot of the things that you otherwise cannot find in plants. The entire Middle Ages that evolved whale hunting, that was all about the fat. That was all about the oil. Now, granted, they were using whale oil also for candles. They were using whale oil for treating leather and other fabrics. They were using whale oil for greasing machinery. Sure, there were industrial uses for whale oil that are no longer necessary because we have synthetic alternatives. But oil itself has played a massive role throughout human history. I don't even know why we started to get away from it. And bacon also turns out to be super delicious. Now, today's cured bacon, or uncured bacon as we would probably find in the supermarket, is quite a bit different from the bacon that people would have been eating 200, 300 years ago. They would probably have had, they were still salting it, but they were most likely real smoked bacon. It was different. They probably also ate a lot more of it. So, how does bacon and eggs come together as a good combo in the carnivore diet? The standard package is 16 ounces. Sometimes it's only 12 ounces, so be careful when you think you're getting a price deal on this. The standard package should be 16 ounces. For me personally, I prefer a thicker sliced bacon because it's just a much nicer slice to eat. A package like this cost me $10. And if I'm using this in a combo with other foods, now in this meal, first meal of the day, it's bacon and eggs, but also considering that we're eating another meal later, which is, beef and butter probably, we don't need to eat the whole 16 ounces. How much do we need to eat though? You're gonna count slices over here, and then peel them out of the package and it doesn't fit into the frying pan and it's just all weird. No, you're not gonna do something silly like that. Bacon can be enjoyed so much easier. So this is your standard pack. And I'm gonna turn this into 3 meals. That means I'm dividing it into 3 equal sections. Cutting it up just like that. Yeah, cold bacon definitely cuts easier. Any meat actually cuts a whole lot easier when it's cold. Okay, there you have it. So we're gonna have 3 mostly equal pieces over here, and this one's already screaming at us. This is the first one we're gonna be taking out. This is the bacon you eat in 1 meal. Seems like a lot. It's not really. It's, well, it is 1/3 of a pound. It's actually a proper serving size as far as I'm concerned. So how are we gonna do this? This is why we're cutting the bacon in thirds. It is super easy to put into the frying pan because we don't have those massive size slices that just don't fit anywhere. Look at this. Look at how beautiful this all fits in there. Isn't that gorgeous? So here we have our bacon cooking. This is wonderful. You may cook your bacon for as long or as little as you desire. Personally, I'm not a fan of crispy bacon, so I rather not make it too crispy. I am more a fan of, as I call it, floppy bacon. As you've noticed, we did not put any kind of grease into the frying pan. Because when you cook bacon, that's not necessary. The bacon is providing all of the grease that you will need and desire. We're gonna give this side a little bit longer. If you have a large family and you're trying to cook bacon for all of them, you know, let's say in the order of 2 or 3 packages, you might be better off making your bacon in the oven. But you will still want to collect the grease that is being extracted from the bacon in a jar and then use that bacon to cook everything else in. This is really the reason why we are doing this, right? So we're getting all of the grease out of the bacon and into the pan. Just having that grease and char here on my fork. God, that tastes so good already. It's not even ready yet. All I tasted was bacon flavored grease. So cooking a little bit of bacon this way does not take a long time, as you noticed. You want to give it a little taste test? Yeah, this is a floppy slice. So our bacon here is almost done. Right, so let's turn the flame off because this bacon is cooked as far as I'm concerned. If you like your bacon cooked more than this, cook it a little bit extra. This is how I like my bacon. Lightly browned on both sides. When you make bacon in the oven, it It cooks slightly different because it does not brown as fast. It browns later in its cooking cycle. Okay, this is the bacon for our meal. And this is all of the grease that we have left in the pan. Look at that. That's quite a good amount of grease actually. That equals probably a quarter stick of butter. And that might be as much as a quarter stick of butter. 2 tablespoons. How much of this grease should you be keeping to continue cooking? Now, when you start out with carnivore, you don't want to overdo it on the fat. Fat is massively important, but you don't want to use so much fat that you're negatively reacting to it because your body is not used to it yet. So what I like to do, for that simple reason, I like to pour off some of this grease and just reuse the remaining residual grease from the frying pan. It is probably a good idea to pour this extra grease into a jar and keep that jar in the fridge for future use. Because why not? You never want to pour grease down the toilet or down the kitchen sink. It just solidifies along the way and clogs up the pipes and becomes a magnet for all kinds of nasty things to stick to. Grease is not being processed outside of the body the same way as it is inside of the body. Okay? Now, given that we are at the park, I'm gonna do a quick, pouring off procedure. And now I'm just having a residual layer of grease left. And this is perfect. Our next guest on the plate is going to be our eggs. Here they are. Beautiful jumbo-sized eggs. We're gonna be using how many? Well, if there's a dozen in here, right? 12. If we divide our bacon package into 3 sections, it's easy to also divide our eggs into 3 sections, right? 4, 4, 4 is 12, third is 1. So, this is what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be using 4 eggs in the frying pan. Number 1, number 2, 3, 4. Now we have to be quick. What kind of eggs do we want? We want fried or scrambled. Well, I want to soak up all of the grease, so I actually want scrambled eggs. So this is what we're gonna be doing. We're scrambling them right in the pan. No need to dirty another dish. Now, a lot of you will say, don't scramble your eggs with a metal fork in the non-stick frying pan. You're right, I'm scratching the pan. Don't do that. If you love your frying pan, don't do that. And as you notice already, there is no separation of eggs and grease. The egg yolks in particular soak up all of the grease in the frying pan. So if you're using bacon grease or butter, it doesn't matter if you make scrambled eggs. They soak up all of the grease easily from the frying pan. This way you have either buttery eggs or bacony eggs. Okay. For all intents and purposes, these eggs are done. turn the frying pan off. Now you'll say, well, you haven't seasoned them yet. No salt, pepper, any other seasonings that you might desire. That is correct. I don't think we need to season the food perfectly on the inside. I think we are, especially on this basic level, we are much more responsive to seasoning on a external level. So here's our eggs, and they get put on the plate with the bacon. I like a soft scramble. Other people might like a hard scramble. That is up to you. It doesn't matter as far as the carnivore diet is concerned. And this, my friends, is your plate. Is this beautiful or what? Now we're taking our salt, put some salt into our hand, and then just sprinkle it externally over the eggs, and the rest of the salt over your shoulder. I think that brings good luck or something like that. And the only thing that remains is to eat. This is so good. This combination of 1/3 of a package of bacon and 4 scrambled eggs with the remaining bacon grease is a perfect first meal for your day. It will absolutely fill you up and satisfy you for many hours to go. You do not need any kind of carbohydrate, bread, or an orange juice or anything else to get your day started. This combo is absolutely satisfying, and it's quick and easy and technically even cheap. 1/3 of a pack of bacon, let's just say it was $9 for the package. It's $3 or $3.30, $3.33, fine. So $3.33 for the bacon, and the package of eggs, because I got the jumbo eggs, they're like $5 or $9. So 50, 60, 20, that's $1.50, let's say $1.60. So 3, 4, so it's like $4.90. This is like a $5 breakfast, right? So this is like a $5 breakfast, right? It doesn't cost the world. Definitely cheaper than going to the deli, because you easily pay the same amount of money, if not more, for an egg sandwich. If money is tight, you could cook the same meal in a different ratio. You could cut your bacon into 4, and instead of 4 eggs, use 3 eggs. So now you're gonna be getting 4 meals out of it. So you're getting 1 extra day, right? Stretch it a little bit. It is most likely for most people gonna have exactly the same effect. It's gonna be super filling, has all the nutrition in it, and it's gonna get you through most of the day. And that is really what we want from our first meal in the day, right? One reason why we don't want to make our first meal too big is because we still want to have enough of an appetite for our second meal, which is gonna be a double B, the beef and butter. And that you will see in the next video. One last thing. If you really love your bacon and eggs so much, you could actually make that the meal for the day. Like the only meal for the day. Eat twice the amount of bacon and possibly eat, well, I guess at least 8 eggs. And that will probably fill you up for the entire day. In that case, I don't recommend using it for breakfast. Choose your main meal for the day, in particular if you're only having one, to be the meal that is the most communal for you. So if dinner is the one where you eat with your family or friends, you might want to make your one meal the dinner meal. And if you do, you after a while, especially on the carnivore diet, you'll notice you wake up in the morning, you're not actually hungry. Don't eat just because it's mealtime. Eat because you're hungry. So if even this meal is too large already to actually feel hungry at dinner time, go down in size, make it a smaller meal. Right? The beauty of carnivore is that you have much stronger control over how much you actually eat. So don't give away that control by sticking to common convention of this is what we have been doing for the last 100 years and this is what we should continue to do. If you have health issues, if you have weight to lose, if you feel like crap most of the time, you will most likely want to change your diet to carnivore and follow carnivore suggestions. And they are different from standard suggestions. And they will help you to get yourself back under control. Just give it 30 to 60 days. You will absolutely love it. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video, when we're discussing the beef and the butter.